So, you went through a breakup with an avoidant. Came out of nowhere. You were blindsided, shell-shocked, and devastated. But they're moving on as if it never even happened. As if you never even happened, as if you never even mattered. Life just goes on for them. They're out there living their best life. They're hanging out with friends. They're traveling. They're working hard. They're playing hard. And it seems like they're just living their best life while you are picking up the pieces of your broken heart, wondering what the heck happened, even questioning your reality and questioning your worth. Pump the brakes. Full stop. When you're dealing with a dismissive avoidant, or a fearful avoidant that leans heavily dismissive, you are dealing with a person that has a lot of insecurities that stem around intimacy, both emotional and physical, vulnerability, communication, commitment, conflict, expectations, all the normal things in a relationship. When they're in a relationship, they feel a baseline of stress because there's pressure on them to meet your expectations. Pressure on them to show up and not disappoint you. Deep down, they feel like disappointing you is inevitable, and it comes from a deep wound of shame. Where does that shame come from? It comes from childhood, where they were on the receiving end of profound, consistent childhood emotional neglect. Often not even realizing that they were neglected growing up in households where you don't talk about feelings. Yeah, their basic needs were met. Food, clothing, shelter. But their emotional needs were not met, and their emotions were rejected. So they learned to suppress emotions because emotions and vulnerability weren't safe in childhood. And they personalized the neglect growing up to feel defective and unlovable. So now they're feeling an immediate sense of stress relief because there's no longer the pressure to show up for you. They're feeling this relief and they're distracting themselves because this is how they've learned to deal with emotions, to not deal with them, to stick their head in the sand like an ostrich and avoid, distract, distract, distract. They're busy. They're out there having fun. They're doing all these great things. Not because you didn't matter, but because they don't have a coping mechanism for loss.